All right, guys, let's talk about lesson 3, which is properties of ionic, covalent, and metallic substances. Start off with ionic. Ionic compounds are hard, they have a crystalline structure, they have extremely high melting and boiling points, they're soluble in water. Soluble means that if you take a solid ionic compound and put it into water, it will dissolve. So, for example, if we take solid sodium chloride here and put it into water, we will actually get this situation, which the sodium and chloride bond will technically break and they will be floating ions in solution. And it is because ionic compounds are soluble in water that they are able to conduct electricity, because we have these moving charges now floating around in water. So what will happen is if you take pure water, distilled water, and water that doesn't have anything else in it, and try and light a light bulb with it, it won't work. If you take solid sodium chloride, for example, and try and light a light bulb, it won't work. However, if you take sodium chloride in solution, you have these charges that are moving, and that will allow for electricity to move and current to flow, and that will allow for us to light a light bulb. Properties of covalent molecules. Covalent molecules are soft, they have low melting and boiling points, and this is due to the weak attraction between the molecules, and we are going to talk about what that is later on in this unit. They do not conduct electricity due to the lack of charged particles or ions. Remember, covalent molecules share their electrons, so neither atom in the covalent molecule is an ion because they do not allow for those, it's not between a metal and a nonmetal. Remember, covalent compounds are between two nonmetals. So here we have this intermolecular attraction between these molecules is weak, and that's why we have low melting and low boiling points. Properties of metals, they have high melting points and high boiling points because the bonds between metal atoms are strong. They conduct electricity because of the free-flowing delocalized electrons. Remember, we talked about that. That sea of moving electrons is a very, very, very good characteristic of metallic compounds. Now, students just like to remember that in metal atoms, you have these positively charged nuclei all lined up, nice, neat rows, and then the electrons are just flowing around them very freely. And that's what allows for current to flow, and that's why metals are such good conductors of electricity. All right, let's look at a practice problem. A solid substance is an excellent conductor of electricity. The chemical bonds in this substance are most likely what? Pause the video, do your best to answer the question, and then unpause it when you're ready to check your answer. All right, welcome back. We're talking about a solid substance as a good conductor of electricity. So it can't be A or B because ionic substances do not conduct electricity when they're solids. It has to be between C and D. So we know that the solid substance for that matter, is metallic. But why is it a good conductor of electricity? And that is because because of the valence electrons are mobile. We have those electrons that are moving. Let's look at another practice. A substance is an excellent conductor of electricity in solution. The chemical bonds in this substance are most likely what? Pause the video, answer the question, and unpause it when you're ready to check your answer. Great, welcome back. Now, if we're looking at a substance that is an excellent conductor of electricity in solution, we're looking at ionic compounds. And why is that? And ionic compounds, remember, will conduct electricity when they are in solution. And why does that happen? That happens because the valence electrons are going to be mobile when it is dissolved in water and allowed for those ions to move around. Check your understanding. In terms of electrons, why are metals excellent conductors of electricity? Answer this in your notes, and we'll talk about this first thing tomorrow in class.